Back in the beautiful US of A from Laos, Kevin and Pam are becoming acquainted with their future brother-in-law, Jerry Suter. At the same time, David is mowing Gerhard Bueller's backyard. Kevin's 6th birthday was celebrated a few weeks late at Gerhard Bueller's. Now to enjoy Grandma Bueller's cake. As Kevin says, "I want the first piece." It is tasty, or as in Korean, masihaseo, or in Lao, seplai. Oh boy, what is Kevin unwrapping? Note the Indian leather vest that was Kevin's favorite. Here we see Jerry Suter being interviewed on a Lima TV station about his responsibilities at the Bluffton College Computer Lab. A year earlier, Nancy crashed into the computer lab's glass door as she was being chased by Jerry. One of the stained glass windows of the First Mennonite Church, Bluffton, Ohio, and an inspiration to many of us. It is June 7, 1975, and the memorable occasion of the wedding of Jerry Suter and Nancy Voth. Presenting Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Suter, both going into their senior year at Bluffton College. Jerry grew up on the farm near Parandora, Ohio. Nancy experienced life in Korea and graduated from the Korea Christian Academy, Daejeon, Korea. In attendance were Jerry's and Nancy's parents and grandparents. Oh, what fun! Pamela was Nancy's bridesmaid, seen in the center wearing a long light yellow dress. My sister Maureen and daughter Christine are in the front row. Grandpa Gerhard Bueller waved. John Zook and Jody are in a conversation. Rosemary is seated nearby, and David and Lyle Troyer are enjoying the reception. And we see Gene Suter, Jerry's dad, with his camera. You mean Jerry and Nancy's new apartment was already occupied? Their honeymoon must have lasted a long time for there to be so many cobwebs. An extended family of Buellers, Voths, Regiers, Grabers, and newlywed Suters. Then, after the honeymoon, many family members gathered at Gene and Juanita's to observe the opening of gifts. A beautiful and significant quilt. A happy and blessed couple, and then refreshments. Gerhard and Lucille Bueller were entertained by Gene Suter. While Mother Matilda Voth was in Bluffton, Leland and Joanne had a 25th wedding anniversary dinner at Nickerson's restaurant. Lowell, Pamela, and Keith checked the fire at a picnic in Newton. Joanne is conversing with Mother Matilda Voth and her sisters Sarah and Regina. Stanley Voth with Art Wiebe, Ella Wiebe with Helen Bertrand, and daughter Karen listening. A group picture. Mother Voth in the center with her sisters Sarah on her right and Regina on her left. Back left to right, Mark Regier, Lowell, Maureen, Bill, Joanne, Helen, Elsie, and Stan. Front left, Karen, Kevin, Christine, Pam, and Keith. Mark Regier, the rocket launcher. Stand clear. We leave my mother in Newton. Back in Ohio, we saw Gerhard and Lucille Bueller off to fly to Fresno, California to help Genevieve after her neck surgery. We moved to Roslyn, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., to study French language with USAID. We took Pamela and Kevin to Wolf Trap Farm. First, they watched a puppeteer in the woods. Next was a magician's show. Joanne is on the right. They also saw a gymnastics demonstration that was followed by a marching band. Kevin enjoyed rolling down the grassy hill. There they are, waving flags. Pamela, that's a nice protective barrel roll. On another Saturday, we went to the Washington, D.C. Zoo. David was number 16 on Bluffton College's soccer team. Free kick and Bluffton scores and the ball goes under the net. What a treat during a stop in Lagos, Nigeria. In Germany, a brief stop to see the Neuschwanstein Castle. German art made from trees. Joanne is between my sister Helen and husband Helmut Bertrand on sabbatical in Munich. David was in a Bluffton College study in Austria. Keith and Karen with Pam and Kevin. The beauty in a park with Helen and Karen. Karen and Pam are hoping for birds to feed from their hands. The Dachau Nazi concentration camp showed the inhumanity of man. The gate sign means work makes free. A jump in time since the previous scene, we celebrated a belated 8th birthday for Kevin in Bueller's backyard, Bluffton, Ohio. Kevin was happy celebrating his 8th birthday. Nancy and Jerry have been happily married 2 years on this picture. In the background, you can see all of Grandma Lucille Bueller's test roses. Pam and Kevin enjoyed their curly straws. And now, Kevin's birthday cake. Joanne is standing in front of the bedroom window where she was born on Riley Street. On another occasion, Aunt Margaret Steiner and Aunt Vesta Steiner came to talk with sister-in-law Lucille Steiner Bueller. Pam is going to enjoy Grandma Bueller's wonderful birthday cake with Grandma Voth beside Pam. Jerry and Nancy Suter's twins, Tom and Tim, were born June 5, 1977. The film shows mildew damage. Nevertheless, 2 bundles of joy. Jerry, Nancy, and the twins at their Bentley Road house. Tim and Tom have their Voth family celebrating their arrival. Tom and Tim's great-grandmothers are overjoyed. 4 generations with great-grandma Matilda Voth. Shortly before leaving Bluffton and ending our 1977 home leave, Joanne is watching Pam and Kevin in Paul Bueller's pool. We begin our 1978 home leave with a visit to Paul and Elise Bueller in Texas. Elise Bueller. Hi, Kevin! And Paul Bueller, Joanne's cousin and former pilot for Mission Aviation Fellowship, then Air Zaire, then Southwest Airlines. Leland is flipping Pam. A great meal after a good swim. At Jerry and Nancy's Bentley Roadhouse in Bluffton, the twins were standing and laughing so hard they plopped down and kept laughing. Two well-deserved birthdays, David 22 and Jerry 24. David with Laura Becker after his graduation from Bluffton College. David and Laura in the cool woods. Gerhard Bueller watering their garden. At Mother Voth's house in Newton, her sisters Sarah and Rexy, Dawn Fast and Deborah Voth. Mother Voth, Christine, Pam, Maureen, Bill, Regier, and Paul. In Heston, the Regier family are left of Mother, and at the right of Lee are Deborah, Elsie, and Stan. Next, we went to Freeman, South Dakota, to the Dairy Queen we established 23 years earlier. We visited Joanne's cousin Lillian and husband John Clausen and enjoyed the animals in Mountain Lake, Minnesota. The Bueller farm became the Mountain Lake Heritage Farm. Pam and Kevin are observing a miniature rocket launch. We camped with my sister Helen, Bertrand, Karen, and Keith near Regina, Saskatchewan. What a beautiful blue lake! In conjunction with an official trip to AID Washington, I visited Bueller's for his 80th birthday. Amy Suter being admired by her great-grandfather. And then to Newton for my mother's 80th birthday on Monday, February 12. What a thrill to see Tim and Tom navigating around Bueller's yard. We also got better acquainted with Laura Becker. At Souder Village, Archibald, Ohio, Pam and Kevin had some new experiences. David is with Lyle Troyer in the background. I attended an analytical skills workshop and then back to Zaire. Jody, Pam, and Kevin arrived July 11. Kevin, Pam, and Jody with Luciana Tomasi in Paris at an open-air market. Luciana was Jody's friend in Kinshasa and taught French to Jody. Jody is resting on Tomasi's back porch after leaving Zaire in a whirlwind, where we had served 4 years and 4 months. And Pam is in Tomasi's hammock. Yes, we brought along 2 African gray parrots and Pam's cat, Patches. Through Paris on the River Seine. We were very happy to be back in time for David and Laura's wedding. Unfortunately, the film shows damage by mildew. David and Laura's wedding reminds us of Nancy and Jerry's wedding 5 years earlier in 1975. Oh my goodness! How did this 66th wedding anniversary photo get in here? Back in Bluffton at Bueller's with Gerhard, David, Kevin, and Jody. Oh, Amy, is Pam teasing you too much? We are at Jerry and Nancy's Tom Fett Road home. Apple picking and sorting by my mother, Matilda Voth, and David and Doug Bueller. The neighbor's straw baler passes by. Amy and her passive cat. Doug Bueller is coming into view by the apple tree. Perhaps it has become a tongue exercise contest. Boy, that's a beautiful load off to market. Now Doug is in the Bueller apple tree. Oh, beautiful. Wow, sweet corn roasted on the cob. Nancy is expecting the birth of Mark any day. Dad Bueller is showing the effects of pancreatic cancer. Jody loving on Amy, and Mother Voth still picking up apples. Jenny and Pete saying goodbyes. We also see Ruth. And Jody. And Christine.
深的爱，你是我心中唯一的牵慕，我要一生紧紧
I think he is saying to Kevin, "You stay back."
让你牵我走天路。
Our African gray parrot is having a new experience. Much later, Nancy taught it to say, "I can talk. Can you fly?" That's the cage both parrots were in coming from Zaire. Amy needs some propulsion. More fun. Pam is having fun with my cousin Lola Schmidt's daughter, Andrea. This is in front of Mother Matilda Voth's home at 221 South Walnut, Newton, Kansas. Ah, homemade ice cream. Lowell Regier on the crank, Brother Mark helping, and Paul waving.